The Senate joint session is called to order.
On the part of the House of Representatives, the joint session is called to order. Please rise for the nation's prayer.
Amang makapangyarihan, mapagkaling ang Panginoon, may gawa ng langit at lupa. Pinapupurihan namin ang iyong kadakilaan, inyong pagmamahal sa amin. Luwalhatiin ang iyong pangalan sa pagsanggalang sa amin, nang aming harapin mga hidwaan sa lipunan at mga unos ng kalikasan, hanggang kami ay inyong itinaas sa aming pagkalugmo, binigyan ng bagong karangalan, pamana sa mga henerasyong darating.
Samho po namin ang iyong kapatawaran sa mga kasalanan at pagkukulang. Inyong awa ay igawad po sa amin kung isinasantabi ang katotohanan at kalagayan ng mga mahihirap at ng aming pagmamalabis o pagwawalang bahala. Abigo ang magmahal.
Pag-isahin po ninyo aming bayan
Sa gitna ng aming pagkakaiba-iba, idulot po ninyo ang inaasam na kapayapaan at kasayahan.
Basbasan ninyo aming pambansang pamunuan, mga kinatawan ng serbisyo sibil, aming hukbong sandatahan, tagapagpangalaga at ng kapayapaan, ng ang-alak at sagisag ng pagkamakabayan at mapagsakripisyo ay patuloy na lumukob sa kanila, higit na magsilbi ng may dangal at pagtalima sa inyong kalooban.
Inyong mga pagpapala, may kaakibat na pagtugon, maging responsableng tagapagsiwa ng inyong nilikhang sanlibutan. Hubugin aming bayan na maging maunlad, tapat at nagtitiwala sa inyong walang humpay na pagmamahal. Amen.
Please remain standing for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem to be led by Mr. Arman Ferrer.
Sinanganan, alat ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong butaw, may dilag ang tulang, awit sa maglayang minamahal, ang istap ng mataw at mo'y tagumpay na naghiningin, ang binuwing at harap niya kailan pa may di magdidilim, lupa ng araw ng walhati pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa mundo. Ang hikaya ng ay mga ating pamamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Your Excellencies, members of the House of Congress, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Thank you. Kindly sit down. Kumusta po kayo? Senate President Vicente Soto III and the honorable members of the Senate, House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano, and the honorable members of the House of Representatives. Vice President Maria Leonor Robredo, magandang hapon po sa iyong ma'am. Kung nasa angga. Former Presidents Delvi Ramos, ito, Macapagal Arroyo. His Excellency Kacha and esteemed members of the Diplomatic Corps. Executive Secretary Salvador Medaldia and the other members of the Cabinet. Chief Justice Lucas Bersamin and the Supreme Court, my fellow workers in government, mga mahal kong kababayan. Let me begin by extending my hand in gratitude to all who kept faith with me in our most trying times. Numbers speak 1,000 words, tell 100 tales, but the landslide victory of the administration candidates, as well as the latest survey result, shows that my disapproval rating is 3%. I hope that the members of Congress, sana hindi kayo included sa 3%. Inspires me with determination to pursue relentlessly what we have started at the start of my administration. Few men imbued with the will and the courage to do what he believes is right and just, and whatever be the opposition in terms of numbers and noise, makes a majority. For it is not the eagle in the fight, but the fight in the eagle that matters. Believe me, I will end my term fighting. It has been 3 years since I took my oath of office. Courage we need to sustain our moral recovery initiatives. Years ago, we saw the terrible devastation caused by illegal drugs. On May 23, 2017, our law enforcers launched an operation to serve a warrant. A group of Christians fought our troops. Drug money killed 175 and wounded 2,001 of my soldiers and policemen in that 5-month battle. I'm aware that we still have a long way to go in our fight against this social menace. Let the reason why I advocate the imposition of the death penalty for crimes related to illegal drugs. Our citizens have begun to do their part in the war against drugs and also actually surrendering bricks of cocaine found floating in the sea into our island. And let's continue to eliminate corruption that allows this monster to survive. I respectfully request Congress to reinstate the death penalty for heinous crimes, plunder, My countrymen, it is a sad commentary that we cannot distinguish our need from our greed, our principles from our prejudice, and the truth. The reason is because that many of us, what matters above all is the self. It is selfishness, it's worse for no purpose other than personal aggrandizement. To borrow the language of F. Chanel, Jose, we have not risen above and beyond the parochial interest. Our warped loyalty to family, friends, and tribal kin continue to exact a heavy toll on our programs designed to uplift the poor and reassure our investors, our foreign investors, and the business sector in this country. The recent uncovering of the massive fraud perpetrated against the public health insurance system proves that corruption is pervasive. Huge amount of medical funds were released to cover padded medical claims and imaginary treatment of ghost patients. I appointed. The government could be used to treat illnesses and possibly send NBI to the prosecution of those liable. I appointed a new whom I know is a man of integrity, a military man, a former military officer, and gave him marching orders to prioritize ridding the agency of corruption. By the way, I commend the Bureau of Investigation for its handling of high-profile cases resulting in the arrest and prosecution of criminals. These culprits will have their day of reckoning in court. I hope it happens during the last 3 years of my term. Concerning the unscrupulous persons manning our ports and scalawags in uniform, we have been unyielding in our reforms to weed them out of public service. I have fired or caused the resignation of more than 100 officials and appointees of government without regard to relationship, friendship, and alliance. There is no sacred cow, as the saying goes, in my administration. Institutions that are the stewards of our resources and agents of development have long been a major source of public frustration. Drastic reforms within these agencies have yielded results. Our government-owned and controlled corporations, infamous for high salaries and bonuses, being paid for their executives and employees, have started to shape up. As of July 9, 2019, we collected more than 61 billion from GOCCs or government corporations, 32 of which, or 32% is the 30 billion. Bureau of Customs, though corruption-ridden, managed to collect 500 85 billion pesos in 2018. Imagine how much more could have been collected, BOC being clean and less corrupt. May I cut and just salita lang ako kung anong sa isip ko. I Bureau of Customs 2 weeks ago and found out that there are about 63 of them facing charges, criminal charges, and 61 of them under investigation. I hope that I can have the cooperation of Congress. If we cannot abolish their position, and if I cannot dismiss them for the reason that there is a security of tenure, I will just allow them to have their plantilla positions, but they have to report to Congress every day to help me in the huge paperwork that we have to do every day. All of them will go out from the premises of the customs. I do not want them back. Talk too much, act and too slow. I say that again to emphasize. We have long on rhetorics, but short of accomplishments. It's that you, Congress, remember, I am here to rectify my own error. That is why I implore those who occupy positions of power and authority to let your deeds and accomplishments positive and prioritize action. Time and again, I have emphasized that, like my fellow workers in government, trabahante lang po ako ng Pilipino. Last year, I signed the Ease of Doing Business and Efficient Government Service Delivery Act, a significant piece of legislation to improve service delivery and fight corruption still until now. However, much is to be done in ensuring our responsiveness to the people's needs based on complaints received by this contact center, Bayan, that's in my office. The LTO, SSS, BIR, LRA, and Pag-ibig are 5 agencies that need to drastically improve their service. I reiterate my directive to the government and instrumentalities, including the LGUs and the dito ba kayo? Simplify, just like the others. You can do it electronically. You do not have to go to the office. I've been asking that from you since 3 years ago. Pag hindi pa rin yung nagawa yan ngayon, papatayin ko talaga kayo. Bubuisit na. Simplify and make your services employer. From where the money in our pockets come from. Very major dia. 8. To make it more responsive is for our people to be freed from using these hotlines because government service improve. Again, I will. Ang problema kasi na I'm addressing now to the Filipino. Kayo rin kasi, sinasabi ko na sa inyo, be assertive. At pag kayo o ikaw hiningian more than the required payment by government at humingi pa sa iyo, I've been telling you, mag-iskandalo kayo sa opisina. Make a scene. Sampalin mo yan. Ano yan? Kasi aabot rin sa akin yan. Ano yung presidente na hanggang ngayon nagbubugbog talaga ng tao. Yan sa loob ng Malayan. Pinapakain ko ng pera yung mga yawa na yan. Pagkahining mo, President told us that if you extort money from me, at sampalin talaga ninyo. Di na bali magkaaway, I will defend you. At kung maaari, and this is what I've been doing all along, there's an 888 vision. At kung totoo, Malacanang, I said, is open 24 hours. 24 hours, basta corruption. Was because yung Koreano na napagbili ship to the Philippine government, wala pa hong delivery. And it was there already ready. And that is why that Korean went to Malacanang just to complain. Why is it that as for the told Bong, ayusin mo yan. He went to Lorenzana, and Lorenzana, nagsulat siya. May nakakuha because sa Malacanang. May tao yan dyan. Every administration leaves some of the men because they are appointed on Tantilla position. Kinuha nila, then it was brought here before the Congress. And so Bong was called to testify and said he was assured it will be a closed door. Ito Bong, no, ask for an open and public hearing. Sabi ko, sabihin mo sa lahat, kaya wala, you have nothing. Just say the truth, wala ka hindi. He is senator. That is the story of how politics and corruption here in our country works. Equipped with political will, the government ordered the closure of Boracay Island for 6 months to prevent its further deterioration and not allowed it to heal naturally. I am proud to say that close to its original Boracay Interagency Romulo Puyat. Oh, what's their name? Puro surname ito, Romulo Puyat. Oh, what's her name? Berna. Berna Romulo Puyat, Bello and Villar, and the TESDA Chief Mamunjong for this huge success. Kudos are also due to the PMS for integrating the 6-month rehabilitation plan and the NEDA for the recently approved Mindanao Term Boracay Action Plan. Boracay Island is just the first there. The foreigners are waiting for you to visit the place. They are all on the beach sunbathing. You are invited. I have not been there. Alam mo, nung naayos yan, day before, we were told that there's gonna be an opening tomorrow. So on the TV on that day, magandang hapon, showed a lot of bantings and banners. Salamat, Duterte, ano mapagkataw. So when I saw it and the police removed the bantings, I am not going there. No need to really advertise. I am paid for what I'm doing. Nakukurnihan ako. Too much adulation, bordering pretensions. I can almost smell it a mile away. And I never went there. And asked the DAR, what is the status of the land behind the beach of Boracay? And they are still categorized as forestal and agriculture. Not, I said, not commercial, no sir. So I told the agrarian reform because I will declare the whole of the island a land reform program. And I gave the islands piece by piece to the Etas, the natives of the place, para walang masabi. Marami kasi ginawa ko raw para linisan ko, ibigay ko sa mga kaibigan ko. Wala akong kaibigang mayaman. Ayaw kong kaibigan ng mayaman. Because pag mayaman ka, tatabi lang ka lang sa akin, pati ako napahira na ng kung ano-ano ang hingiin mo sa gobyerno. There are those who violate environmental rules. I am giving due notice to the LGUs and other stakeholders, kayo po, of tourist destinations to take extra steps in the enforcement of our laws and the protection of our environment. On January 27, 2019, we officially started the Manila Bay rehabilitation. Though we have a long way to go, we are encouraged by the test results of the waters near Padre Faura. We will relocate informal settlers. I hope it can happen during my time. Along the waterways and shut down establishments that continue to pollute and poison our waters. Make a choice. I'm going to the, whatever that is, to the build program in emerging economic hubs outside Metro Manila. This will swiftly gain ground thanks to the efforts of the economic team led by Secretary Dominguez. Hard at work in the interconnection of our islands and cities by air, land, and sea are Secretaries Tugade and Villar. Alaman naman ninyo, magaganda na ang airport ninyo. Inuna ko nga kayo. Everybody's complaining about the Davao Airport, and I said, Davao will be the last. Kung hindi na maabutan, sabi ko mga taga-Davao, pasensya na kayo. Para walang masabi ang Congress sa atin, baka nga 3% sila doon sa kabila. We also paved the way for the entry of third telecommunication provider. Do not worry about this. There is no corruption at all. I guarantee you, upon the grave of my father, I do not talk to them. I just say, just do your work. And kung maaari, according to what the specifications are required by this government. I challenge this new player to fulfill its commitment to provide fast and reliable telecommunication services to our people, especially in the underserved areas. DICT Secretary Hunasan will be the lead man in this endeavor. I hope he is here. However, developmental gains will not be felt by our people in the countryside if we cannot maintain law and order. Yung peace and security, we need to enforce the law. After almost 2 decades of peace negotiation with the Bangsamoro Organic Law, was finally passed and ratified. For decades, our Muslim brothers in the armed have been mired in poverty. My late Muslim brother, Minda Chair Abdul Ghair Alonto, envisioned a progressive, peaceful, and united Mindanao and comfortable life for Muslim brothers and sisters and all indigenous communities in the Bangsamoro regions. Additionally, I have taken the helm of the National Task Force to end local communist armed conflict and have assigned a cabinet member to each region to harmonize government efforts in attaining national security. Through the exceptional leadership of Secretary Briones and the DepEd, I am proud to say that this year more Filipino learners are receiving basic education with over 27 million enrollees from kinder to senior high school. And because we have to spare population growth, then I do not want to quarrel with more than 823. Sorry, but I see not good for the nasuot ko lang to pag paminsan-minsan eh. Out of school youth and adult learners were able to create the National Academy for Sports for high school. 86,000 micro, small, and medium enterprises, or the MSMEs, have received over 3 billion of Secretary Lopez and the DTI. Hence, the assignment of health workers, expansion of the malasakit centers, hope to achieve through the bills filed. Concept of bongo para manalo sa bong mapahiya tayong lahat. I also implore Congress, you have to study this very carefully. Congress has to postpone the May 2020 election. And yung barangay Sanggunian, Kabataan, October 2022. Because if you read it, to rectify the truncated terms, paiba-iba na eh. The truncated terms of sitting barangays, but also provide them with the ample time to finish the programs and projects. I suggest Congress should also enact the Magna Carta for barangays to stop inflicted our overseas Filipinos, to ensure their welfare, protection, and their access to government services. The establishment of the Department of Overseas Filipinos will sufficiently address this particular need. Our accomplishments for the past 3 years and the plans next 3 are discussed in detail in my midterm report to the people, copies of which shall be made available before the day ends. Honestly, I have a who dump us into this quagmire we are in. I have met the enemy face to face. The enemy is us. We are our own tormentors, addressing the Filipino people. We are our own demons. We are as rapacious predators preying on the helpless, the weak, and the voiceless. We find corruption everywhere in government when every malefactor watching his cohorts back in blatant disregard of his oath when he assumed public office. Even the language has evolved to soften the wickedness of the criminal act. For the boy, during an event, or what have you, no amount of euphemism and trivial formal or any other criminal offense. It is an injury laced with insult. It is both a national embarrassment and a national shame. For every transaction, a commission. For every action, extortion. Any request that goes on and on endlessly and shamelessly. Catharsis is what we individually and collectively need to do today. Not tomorrow, but today. Self-purgation, followed by the resolve to do what is right and proper, is good for the nation's health. Let me ask, kailan ba talaga ito hanggang kailan? Well, I don't know. I've been in government for almost 35 years now. I'm not singling out myself. It's the entire gamut of our system. Corruption exasperates. It frustrates. It is also exasperating that there are times when I think that perhaps it is blood that we need to cleanse and rinse away. The dirt and the muck that stick to the flesh like leeches. So, I am simply thinking aloud to dispel any controversy that my statements in this regard will create something else. Words of Pedro Guerrero, who said, sometimes they write what I say, and they write what I say and not what I mean. So yung mga papurga-purga lang dyan. I use similes, metaphors, as human as anybody else. Evidence of conflict, armed conflict, and protection of our territorial waters and natural resources compel us to perform a delicate balancing act. A shooting war is grief and misery multiplier. War leaves widows and orphans in its wake. I am not ready or inclined to accept the occurrence of more destruction, more widows, and more orphans on a limited scale breaks out. More and better results can be reached in the privacy of a conference room than in the squabble in the public. That is why I will do in a peaceful way, mindful of the fact that it is a national pride and territorial integrity that are at stake. short of expressly advocating a call to arms, there are those who say that we should stand up and stop those who fish in our economic zone. There is, alam mo ganito yan eh. Nung I became president, 16 rifles were canceled upon the Produce Congress. I found myself in a quandary because reports were already very ripe, pushes the bullet flies out, and the barrel has really become loose, and there are no more lands and planes to push it into a circular trajectory to maintain its accuracy. Mabutit na lang na masabi. Then in China, we had a bilateral. China is Peron national security. In that meeting, I said, cabinet members were there, I want to go to my territory to dig oil. That's the word. I dig. Because that is ours. Ang sabi ni President Xi, well, you know, there's a conflict there. Do you think rather than go there and have a confrontation, not necessarily degree ships, warship, but you know, a squadron could lead to something. So we just became friends. And perhaps we can talk about this, but not an outright precipitate move. I said it softly. If the trouble comes out from the mouth of a president of a republic, ano magawa mo? So, what did they answer? Well, then maybe, sir, we can talk about this at some other time. But definitely, before I go, we must talk about the West Philippine Sea. You know, have our cake and eat it too in this. You know, I cannot go there even to bring the Coast Guard to drive them away. China also claims the property and he is in possession. Yan ang problema. Sila yung in possession and claiming all the resources there as an owner. We are claiming the same, but we are not in the possession because of that fiasco. Noong dalawang stand-off doon during the time of my predecessor, si Albert Ambassador, if I'm correct, I do not know his real name, tayo ang umatras. Pag sabi na umatras, that was a kind of a compromise. Tayo ang umatras. Na, that day, we lost this. Ang totoo, walang bulahan yan. Ngayon may arbitrary ruling. I said, I could not even ask for the oil. Anong sabihin ko sa kanila? Kaya sinabi ko, let us, of course. And sabi ko naman, we'll fish because we claim it. And sabi ko, please allow, because before that, they were driving away our fishermen. Di ba, inaabog nila? Kaya sabi ko, do not drive them away because the Filipinos are of the belief that they are also claim it. Now, if you deprive the Filipinos of their, magkagulo talaga yan. And it could lead to one, not really war. I said, we have to, sabi ko, so I said, I allowed. That was on the premise that I own the property. pero hindi tayo in control of the property. Kaya pinabalik yung disgrasya, yung pagsabi a mere incident, legal marine incident. Yan ang ginagamit sa batas yan. A marine incident happened, accident. It was just banggaan, wala naman. So they wanted to talk. Tapos ayaw dito. And so, sige, we will investigate and you investigate. And when we are ready, we should meet and compare notes. And let us determine who pays for what damage. Ganun. Ipadala ko yung Marines ko to drive away the Chinese fishermen. I guarantee you, not one of them will come home alive. Kung ipadala ko yung pati yung frigate ko na bago, yung pinagkaguluhan nila ni Trillanes dyan sa that made Bong a senator. Because there are already guided missiles in that island. The fastest that they have installed there can reach Manila in 7 minutes. You want war? Alam mo, asaran yan eh. Supladuhan yan. Kung supladuhan lang, umalis ka diyan. Kung ganunan lang, bright ako dyan. Ang bunganga lang. Pero kung bunutan na ng baril, pwede siguro. Basta dalawa lang. But the problem is, whether we do it in a diplomatic way, there will be heated arguments. Sigurado yan. We do it in a confrontation doon, we try to drive them away, it could lead to a violence. Anyway yan. By the way, the President answered when I said, I will dig my oil the first time I went to China. Nakita ko yung tao. So you can more or less, please do not do that because there will be trouble. That even before countries were in existence, people around or a lake had already, that is why fishing are allowed in the so many cases, Finland and Germany, decided by UNCLOS. UNCLOS is the international law of the seas. UNCLOS is a product of a treaty, a part of our. Dito kung basahin lang ninyo yan ng husto, it is there. You might just say, China and everybody recognizes for the natives who were there. That law is human law. So I'm sorry I have to, I promised you 40 minutes, but you want me to stop? Oh, we can go home now. I have. Do not believe the others because they are not my friends. They are my political enemies. They say, I do not believe in God. Who says? I do not believe that a God so perfect would create hell for his creation. What kind of God is he? He is not my God. There's a time for everything. A time to negotiate and a time to quarrel with your enemy, with your political opponents, with your wife. That is why some lives there are and a time to antagonize, and a time to make peace, and a time to go to war, and a time to live, and a time to die. That's Ecclesiastes 3. Our ownership of the West Philippine Sea is internationally recognized. However, both the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, and the Arbiter Award in the case of Republic of the Philippines versus People's Republic of China recognize instances where another state may utilize the resources exclusive economic zone, the arbitral ruling, even states are charging me for violating the Constitution. Sino gana yun? Suntukin lang kita dyan, buti ba? Dito the arbitrary even states that the Philippines may enter into fishing agreements with other states. So yung aking sabi niya, let's go fish. Sabi ko, you have to, they've been there fishing since time immemorial. I think it was Adam who got the first lapu-lapu there. Let me assure you that national honor and territorial integrity shall be foremost in our mind. And we may take next steps in the smoldering controversy over the lines of arbitral ruling. There is no ifs and buts. It is ours, but we have been acting along that legal truth and line. But we have to temper it with the times and the realities that we face today. Poverty incidence fell from 27.6% in the first half of 2015 to 21% in the first half of 2020. We need to pull out from poverty. Kindly help me. I said corruption is everywhere. You are free to investigate. I don't take offense. If there is anything wrong in my department, the executive and the investigation anytime. You are helping. Do not be, I am not, I've been a prosecutor. I know how it works. Feel free. Feel free to expose anything that is not in accordance with law. We have pursued tax reforms to fund our poverty reduction programs. I therefore implore Congress to immediately pass package 2 of the comprehensive tax reform program or the trabajo to lower the corporate income tax and rationalize and improve fiscal incentives. It will energize SMEs to expand their business and hopefully generate, I'm missing the word hopefully, para sabihin na your all talk, hopefully 104 million jobs in the coming years. The MSMEs hold the promise of raising a lot of the Filipinos. I therefore believe that it is now time for Congress to approve a new version of the salary standardization law. Ngayon na. And to the teachers, alam mo nito, work tirelessly to educate our young. Kasali na po dito yung hinihingi ninyo. Hindi naman masyadong malaki, pero it will tide you over during this hard time. A little bit bigger than before. This is intended to increase salaries of national government workers, nurses. I am also asking they should be exterminated from the face of the earth. They are the ones, I do not hide what's wrong with me. I acquired Burgess disease because I smoke. But I made it a national policy because when I was new mayor, I went around to see the discos and nightclubs. I could hardly see the faces of the people inside. You have to wade into a thick smoke to just recognize one. So that was when I decided. But I was still smoking. But I decided because I knew I already had it. It's time. So sabi ko, in national law, para lahat na. Mine was that 2 o'clock noon sa Davao. It was 2. Then I reduced it. That boxing mayor there became mayor. She reduced it to 6. Walang, or we have ordered already, so you can close, but we have to drink. At 12, everything closes down. Most of the states, in many countries, gano'n naman. Alas 12, sarado na talaga. We have to stop drinking. And jukebox, they're only good up to 8, 9. It blares out noise, and the children, and you are there with your store. I have prohibited it in Davao. And at 12, as you see, Davao is quiet. Because everybody is resting already. Memorial parks, cemetery, home. The evaluation system has also to be improved. Local government units and rationalize capital income tax. I urge Congress to review and pass the government right-sizing bill to reconfigure the existing Metro Manila bureaucracy, streamline government systems in order to deliver services without delay and within a short timeline. These reforms would be for naught if we cannot avert of a new poor. That is why we need to hasten the establishment of the Department of Disaster Resilience so that this department will focus on the natural hazards and climate change. I urge Congress to fast-track the passage of the administration of this bill, administration version rather. I reminded all of you of the probable consequence of a catastrophic earthquake in Metro Manila. Office for the earthquake to implement two-pronged strategy on earthquake resilience and mitigation efforts. I just heard, it's not in my heard that from a psychic that the first crack when the big one hits will be right here. Yan man ang sabi nila. Philippines is so corrupt, it's so lousy, that if you kill all congressmen, senators, and the president, we will have a new day. So I pray that if the earthquake comes, it comes now, this moment. Kompleto na tayo. May madamay pa tayo doon sa harap. We weathered one damaging effect of climate change this year. The El Nino wreaked havoc of the agricultural sector and caused Metro Manila area. We need to pass bill creating the Department of Water Resources and Water Regulatory Commission. Alam mo, the agencies and the guys that are handling the entire water work system, you have to change it immediately. You know what, there was this 3-day no water. I was in Davao. So everybody was complaining. And I was even afraid to come here because But when I arrived in the morning, there was water. And my girlfriend was fresh. If you want all the cameras, all the screens, we need that. If we can find it, alam mo, sabi ni, is there, Sunny is here? Secretary Dominguez? Siya man ang magyayabang. Sabi niya, marami tayong pera. Pero pag tanongin namin siya doon sa cabinet meeting, walang pera, walang pera. Di joke no, ganun rin. Kaya tapon ko sa Central Bank. Every time sabihin mo, we discuss projects. We plan. And we submit it to Congress. About its final imprimatur. Hindi kami, may pera pa tayo dyan. Wala, magkano? 4 billion. That is not the property. No money, no money. Saan pa ang pera natin dito? Sa bursa. At sana now, I would like to size pa nga, ginugutom na kayo. Hindi pala kayo nagmerienda. Alam mo, ever since na-integrate, you would notice in your cities and provinces, the deterioration of the truck, luma na, would you believe it in Davao City? I'll show it to you. We have a 1934 Studebaker fire truck. Maganda pa. So we have to do better than this. There are other cities which are utterly without the tools to respond to the challenges of fire. We have to come up with something that is really good. I mean, at this age, it would be a shame if you cannot put up a fire in 2 days, 3 days. My God. We have to set aside. Sunny, you have the money? Oh, yes. O, see? Basta sa maraming tao, mahiya man mag-deny. Yeah, totoo yan. Totoo yan. We have the money, so maybe Sunny can give you a figure that we can set aside. Nakakaya talaga itong ano natin. Ang Davao meron. Davao has a very good 911. Hindi ako nagyayabang. And we have cameras in every corner, so we can solve crimes immediately. And meron kaming 911. What is your emergency? That's the standard. So it's fire, they call the fire department. Sabi ko, 911, yes. What's your emergency? I seem to have lost my girlfriend since we know you may have plenty left there. Go. To respond to challenges. I further ask Congress to urgently pass the National Land Use Act or NLUA within this year. Pakilang po. So that we can proceed with the new, well, we can meet the demands of the new investors coming in. Ang lupa natin ang problema. A science-based national land use plan would serve as basis for the LGUs in crafting respective development plans and help disperse economic activities to the countryside. The dispersion of economic and business activities to Visayas and Mindanao is not just a campaign promise, it is an economic imperative and a key to country's sustainable and equitable development. We will encourage investment to develop the rural areas and metro Manila, the mega urban areas. let me cut here. Total, maliit na lang. I would just like to remind everybody, no offense intended to the mayors and governors, to the local government. Pero yung style ninyo na it takes about 3 days, 4 days for the employees of a certain company, store, or whatever to go back and forth, back and forth. When they go back, you have in your regulation. He secures it, and when he goes back, saying, oh, there's still, you have to follow. Hindi ako nagyayabang. In Davao, it's 1 hour. Unless there is a need for ocular inspection. I am directing you publicly. Mayors, I am directing all clearances, permits emanating from your office that would need all out at least within 3 days. You do not do that. I am directing si Secretary Anyo. Is he here, sir? Nandito ka? Secretary Anyo, the former Chief of Staff. He's also a military man. I want 3 days, unless there is an exceptional reason. 3 days, para hindi na magpabalik-balik kasi dyan ang pirahan. Pagdating doon, meron na manghingin. Padodong manghingin. Kaya said the Filipinos, if it is done to you, I'm telling you, slap the guy. Crack kayo dyan. Pati yung, well, if it's a foreign, binabayaran. That's why nagpatong. If all monies and revenues due government are collected in good faith, marami tayong pera. I'm telling you as president, marami tayong pera para extra money to uplift the mass of Filipinos who are suffering. Paski hospital and housing. Jobs, it's the economy that runs it. If the economy is good, more jobs. But in the meantime, itong hospitalization, education, the basic things, saka itong relocation. Kaawa talaga. Kung makulikta lang natin, hindi makurap ang pera. Marami tayong pera. Kaya ako nagsabi. That's why I will make it public. I was denying Filipino. I gave it to a group of people. Tapos, nagpabidding sila. Ang nagbidding nila is to allow a gambling casino to be erected there inside the Nayong Filipino. Kaya ako nagsabi, anong kahulugan ng Nayong Filipino kung lagyan mo ng sugalan and without a bidding? Nandiyan yung mga general. They are there, chief of staff. Kasi pagdaling doon, pumunta ako sa command conference. Pagdating ko sa command conference, may pinasa si Isane, ghost delivery sa AAP hospital. Galing pa ako doon. When I was facing the military police, sabi ko, look, I had my back covered by you. If I cannot trust you, you better tell me. Because if you, the commanders of pati now, I am residing, I'll go back to Davao. You do the explaining to the people why. Ano ko talaga? Animan of the rin, there was this 2-year back and forth for 3 hours, was sitting on their ass of paper. So when they were explaining to me the revised plan, and with so many requirements, clearances from NBI, I stood up with the cabinet members, lahat kami. And the cabinet meeting said, stop. That idiotic matrix is not for me. That is maybe the president after the next. Lumabas ako, sabi ko, inyo na yung gobyerno ninyo. Sabi ko, wala ako I'm tired. I'm tired and talagang gusto ko na rin mag-resign. But I'm not happy anymore. And the military said, we want to take over Kurdita, go ahead. Do not bring your armors, do not bring your weapons. I think Marcos and were correct. Kasi yung gwardiya dito pareho yan. Lahat sila dadaan yan sa Presidential Command. All of them will be assigned. Mag-iikot yan sila. A taste of everything. Hanggang Mindanao. Kaya kilala ko yan sila lahat. Tumaan ng Mindanao. Sabi ko talaga, inyo na. Ayaw ko na. Sabi ko, sige, sinong gusto? Raise your right hands. I, duly appointed member of the junta, will now make the SONA next month. Bahala kayo dyan. We threaten them about it. If you think that you can run the country better than the elected one, go ahead. That's not is the problem of the Filipino people. Tala sa cabinet kaya abutan ako ng tupak, magbaba dito ako, may bahala na kayo. I'm going home. One estimate pegs economic losses. So meantime, I reiterate my directive, my request, my pleading to the MMDA and all concerned local officials in Metro Manila and other cities to undertake immediate action to ensure the speedy and smooth flow of vehicular traffic. Marami dyan. And again, I ask Secretary Anyo to see to it that this is enforced. If there is a mayor or a governor or kung sino kang demonyo, they just keep on pleasing their own constituents just because there is a constituent, a leader. Ganun kayo eh. The only way to do it, anyway, me, I have no problem. Me, no more challenges in politics. No more mountains to climb. Most members are actually atin-atin na lang ito. Huwag mo na silang pansinin yung dyan. Parang nag-meeting-meeting lang tayo dito. Yung parang nagpulong-pulong din. Kung tingnan kasi ninyo, mahiya kayo. Kasi ganito yan. My penchant for military men. I want to ingratiate myself to them. What? I was elected by the people, not by the military, not by the police. But why do I have this predisposed to? Kasi utusan sila madali. Kasi pag walang corruption. Top dyan, General, Commander-in-Chief, corrupt and lahat. Pero kung sabihin mo na matino, they will follow. Sabi ko, kung tanong is John Sumatowir, si Roy, Mindanao. Hindi ko man niya kilala. pag inutusan mo, kaagad. And they know that I will not give illegal orders for them to implement. I was surprised when I ordered si Mato to go there, to Boracay. Pa siya doon sa Daily Mirror. Naglalakad siya doon sa beach. At yung mata niya, nandoon sa Kadamit sa Mato. Nagkabikini na dalawang sir. Kuya, trabahoin mo yan ha. And they did it in 6 months' time. Of course, with I like si Mato because it's the way how to do it. I give you until the last week of the year, yung sa September na, to do the clean the LGUs. Walang mangyari dito. We shall continue to invest in the countryside through agricultural programs that will increase the productivity and income of small farmers, verification law, including the rice competitiveness enhancement. This will safeguard the livelihood of small farmers through provisions of modern farm equipment and machineries, seeds and credit, and extension services. I also have not forgotten my commitment to uplift the lives of coconut and further develop coconut industry until AB Fund million. Kaya ako very careful until now, wala akong nakuha. Look, it is really hard to look for an honest man. I must admit it. Baka ako hindi ko rin kaya. I do not have that. Well, itong Coco Fund na ito yung naiwan sa fund. This is sacred money. This money, the pockets of the Filipinos arbitrarily. Wala levy fund. Kung sabihin mo lang, tamang Supreme trace the truthful owner of the land. Ang plano ko, kung gusto ninyo, you save the money. You invest the money, mag-abot yan ng mga more than 100 billion. Lagay na lang ninyo ng trust fund for the government. So, 5 billion. Ayun na lang ang gastusin ninyo to reserve the money. Rather than do it parang sprinkle na ibigay mo sa mga tao, you cannot, sabi ng Supreme Court, tama sila, you can no longer trace the ideology of the owners, the original owner. And sometimes it would fail. I will not act on that until I find the man. Wala pa akong nakuha. I have yet to look for the man. Wala akong nakita. Kasi this will, if you nagustuhan rin ninyo, i-deposito ko na lang. Remain as a remembrance to the people for yung magtigabigay, kukuha yan. Yung pupunta. That's why itong lang bank na ito, pag hindi ito na, you're called land bank. But you are now the #1 commercial bank in the Philippines. What the heck is happening to you? You are supposed to finance agricultural enterprises and endeavors. Bakit wala? Bakit? Why can't you just buy a few wagons of countryside and ask the people if there are cooperatives, tulungan ninyo to form one. Pag wala, tignan ninyo na maibigay ninyo for replanting of the coconut. Marami ninyo ng pera plus the money nung sabi ko of the coconut levy. That is sacred money. Land bank should go back to land. Why are you mired in so many transactions? Bumalik kayo to help the farmer. Ilang administration na wala. You better decide on that. I will give you until the end of July to give me a plan. Or else, I will ask Congress to reconfigure you whatnot. Wala kayo. I'm asking now, Congress, pag wala sila, if there is no viable farmer, and it is just all commercial transaction, let's abolish it. And give congressmen for their development. Ayaw ninyo? Mo na lang galawin. I once again urge both houses of Congress to pass a more responsive version of the bill establishing the Coconut Farmers Trust Fund to ensure the accelerated utilization of the Cocoa Levy Fund for the well-being and empowerment of the coconut farmer. We recognize the urgent need to ensure the sustainability and availability of resources and the development of alternative ones. In this regard, I trust the Secretary Kusi shall fast track also the development of renewable energy resources and reduce dependence on the traditional energy sources such as coal. Finally, sustaining our gains entails a national security posture capable of defending external and internal security. Defense Secretary Lorenzana, together with the gallant men and the armed forces, is at the forefront of this fight. We expect support for the legislative initiatives aimed at strengthening defense-related systems, such as the proposed National Defense Act, separation, retirement, pension bill, and the revival of the mandatory ROTC grades 11 and 12. Very important. Magira-gira, 10 out of 10, hindi marunong hawak baril. To defend even his father and mother and brothers and sisters. Itong mga bata ngayon, they're bereft of the patriotism and the love of country. Balik sila dito. I think a military training would be good for everybody. Wala, sige lang. Shabu. Maya, namatay. If you can provide me with a good, comfortable cell, heated during winter time, I want to go. And an air condition during hot weather. And a conjugal visits unlimited para we can understand each other. We are aware of the fact that there are times in AFP and PNP personnel, while in the performance of their duties, get unjustly sued, providing them with free legal assistance to help and boost their morale. My fellow citizens, to borrow the words of Churchill, akin to, this is mine. We are now entering a period of the kind of what we did and did not do, but should have done during my first half responsibility for that. I cannot pass it, the blame to anybody. So it's on me. Though we cannot change the past, we will not squander the future. I in the pursuit of programs that we have started, but always within the parameters of the I call it. Our goal for the next 3 years is clear. A comfortable life for everybody, all Filipinos. We have made significant strides and accomplishments in signal milestones years. This momentum must serve the years and beyond. I dream of glowing days ahead for every Filipino. I dream of a Philippines better than the one I grew up with. This is my pledge and commitment for just 3 years, if I can. If I cannot, I'm sorry. But I shall continue to comply with my constitutional duty to serve and protect the Filipino until the last day of my term. God bless the Filipino. God bless the Philippines. Thank you very much.